Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
God damn them. So many years stolen.
Who are you?
Sean, where is everyone?
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Those bastards. They killed your father.
What's going on? Father? Father!
I'll kill them for this. All of them.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! She's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
I could kill you. Right here. Right now.
Yes. Yes, you could. And I would be powerless to stop you.
God. All we're missing are the teacups and the white rabbit.
Ah, levity. Excellent. A sure sign that you adapt quickly to stressful environments. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
It's really you. After all this time.
Yes. It's true. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
Hell of a story, but I guess it does make sense.
I'm glad you're willing to accept the truth. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
$60 years. So much time. Wasted.
I know. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your father. He never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They're scared of you, Sean. Scared of the Institute.
People are always frightened by what they don't understand. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here, in the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
It seems like a strange choice. On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. It is something new. New discoveries are always welcome. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
This is all... it's too much. I just don't know anymore.
I understand. You've been through quite a lot. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Sean?
I often wonder what the Institute's founders would think of our accomplishments. Perhaps someday our synths can reclaim the Commonwealth.
Hey there.
Our advances will, in time, change the world.
Almost done.
I've heard stories. The surface.
Primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase-out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans.
It's an honor to have
Ask
you
me.
here, ma'am.
They were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks again.
Of course.
Hi, miss.
Hi there.
Hi, miss.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
You're here. Glad you made it.
Visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust?
My apologies, sir. I was issued a defective cleansing unit.
Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful.
Yes, sir. Scanning.
There's a lot of hubris around here lately, and I don't care for it.
Excuse me, Doctor?
You know what happens when people get robots to do all their work? They get fat and lazy, that's what. Real people doing real thinking and real work. That's the future I want.
People have no trouble getting fat and lazy on their own.
A few, here and there, perhaps. But not on the scale I'm talking about. I can see you're having a joke at my expense. You're hardly the first. In any case, I suppose I should say, welcome. Perhaps a fresh perspective will do some good around here.
Lawrence.
Synths aren't human beings, but supposedly they're the future of humanity. I'll never understand it.
All systems nominal.
Welcome to the Institute, ma'am.
Is it true food supplement 77 has been discontinued?
That is correct.
That was my favorite one. Can't we keep it a little longer?
I will be happy to forward your request to the Bioscience Division. In the meantime, please feel free to enjoy one of our other nutritious and flavorful food supplements.
I want supplement 77.
I am sorry, sir, but that supplement is no longer available.
Useless machine. Good day.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold still. There. All done. You can return to your duties, and remember to record every symptom you experience in detail.
I hope I'll prove a useful test subject for you, Doctor.
Sometimes Quentin is really mean to me, but my mom says I have to be nice anyway.
Take good care of yourself, and you won't have to see too much of me. Once you've settled in, I'll want to do a physical and get a file going on you. No hurry, though.
You're the doctor here?
Everyone's a doctor here. But if you mean physician, then yes, I'm about as close as we've got to one. How about you take some time to get comfortable, learn the lay of the land and such. In the meantime, you come see me if you need to get patched up. We'll do that checkup when you're good and ready. Take care of yourself, so I don't have to.
I'm hurt, Doc.
Let's have a look. This isn't too bad. I've got just the thing. There. Good thing you didn't turn to one of those Commonwealth butchers for medical care. Head to requisitions if you need medical supplies.
It's me. So you're the one who sent the encrypted message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have a chance to crack Trinity. You know, the encryption algorithm.
Who are you?
I'm Liam Benet. My father runs synth development, and everyone knows who you are.
Trinity. What's that?
Trinity is an encryption system with a cipher, or key cut up into many pieces. You need several pieces in the correct order to unlock it. I put a Trinity piece with every synth I helped escape. It was a long shot, but I was hoping some good Samaritan would connect it all together.
I'm not sure I should trust you.
You're worried about me? If the SRB cracked Trinity, man, your message was only one word. Friend. What did you mean by that?
The Railroad's in the business of helping synths too. That makes us friends.
What? The Railroad? As in the Railroad? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the Railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
How did you help the synths escape?
Through hacking. The departments focus their best talents on hard science. Why waste time on terminal security, right? The SRB is the exception, and unfortunately, they control which synths go to the surface. But a forged work order from, let's say, bioscience can get a hand-picked synth on surface detail. And it turns out the Railroad was waiting for them. Wow.
How did you help the synths escape?
Through hacking. The SRB is the exception, and unfortunately, they control which synths go to the surface. But a forged work order from, let's say, and it turns out the Railroad was waiting.
Why are you helping synths?
At first, I just wanted to see if I could get away with it. It was a challenge, you know? But then I realized the synths are really just like us, except without any freedom. I decided to help the ones that wanted to escape, so they can have a better life.
If you met them, trust me, you wouldn't be that impressed.
They've eluded the SRB for decades. They've got to be incredible. With you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths. At once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try it out, you know?
Nothing to report, ma'am.
C-114, it's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z-1. She's a friend. She's with the Railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Because the members of the Railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Benet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the Railroad does, Z-1. She's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now, how many synths want to escape, Z-1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by Tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. So we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right?
It depends on what you need.
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
Sounds like a harebrained scheme.
I've been probing SRB security for years. It'll work. But finding a password won't be easy. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago. But some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the railroad. I need those login credentials.
Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't recharge unless your primary levels are below 2%. Also, if you haven't patched your navigation software, do so after this meeting. The last thing we need is more synths bumping into walls. All right, that's all for now. You can resume your duties.
I apologize for any disruptions at my work by leaving
Doctor?
the facility.
It's a real juggling act, trying to keep all the systems down here operating in the green. This place might look shiny and new, but there's a lot of old technology in these walls. I lose sleep worrying about when the next blackout's gonna hit.
Looks like everything's running great. I'd say you're doing your job.
Hey, thanks. It's nice to be appreciated. Most people just take my work for granted. It's the kind of work that only gets noticed when something goes wrong, if you know what I mean. There's some stuff I need to check on. See you around, yeah?
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do. I hope all your needs are being seen to. You just let me know if they're not.
Reporting status. All functions normal.
Can I turn off the interferometer?
Seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
Please don't get any germs on me.
On the targeting
Report
package
anything
upgrades I asked
suspicious
for.
to the
Maybe I
SRB.
should take some courses with me. You know, send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going
I heard
soft
we
on
lost
me,
another
Alana?
Gen 3.
My methods get results.
Dr.
and they
Ayo
will
was
this time as well.
furious.
You'll see. I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
They're
Father's a
dragging their
great
feet on
man.
the targeting
You
package
must be
upgrades
very
I asked
proud.
for. Maybe I should
Always
take some
be
courses
vigilant.
with me.
We have many enemies.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
The Directorate should take the synth escapes more seriously.
Constant vigilance is vital to preventing synth escapes.
Hi.
I swear I spend half my time smoothing the feathers that Justin ruffles. We need to be able to collaborate with the other divisions, and that's a lot harder when they're always angry at us.
A little friction between departments is normal. You'll work through it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, just listen to me. It's the first chance we've had to get acquainted, and all I want to do is complain. In any case, it was good to meet you.
Dr. Secord.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
Sometimes you have to lean on the other departments a little to get what you need.
Doc?
So, here you are. Justin Ao, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity.
I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider.
The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you.
Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I hate to break it to you, but your Courser wasn't all that tough.
Then it's likely the unit was defective. It's rare, but faults can occur from time to time. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
If you're the acting head of the SRB, who are you filling in for?
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's supervising the retrieval of some of the more high-profile units. In his absence, I keep things running smoothly.
Justin?
Yes, what is it?
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training. Tell me more about it.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
Dr. Ao.
Yes, what do you need?
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Excuse me.
Reporting status. All functions normal. Remember to practice good sanitation habits at all times.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Well, that was productive. Sleep is such a waste of time. I'd rather be designing more efficient plasma emitters.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Oh, hi there. Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics, and now I'm doing detailed mental comparisons.
What kinds of blueprints?
Mostly components for a new plasma pistol concept I've been toying with. High-energy weapons are sort of a hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's an honor to meet you. I really hope you'll stay here with us. It's really exciting having you here. I can't wait. To see what you can do.
Rushed work is sloppy at best and deadly at worst.
Hey, Doc.
Since you're new here, you should take time to learn our safety procedures. And the sooner the better. Rules create order, and order promotes efficiency.
You sound like my 5th grade math teacher. I hated that woman.
I doubt her rules were a matter of life and death. Fail to follow protocols in one of our labs, you could end up with a serious injury. Or worse. I had some handbooks made up, but that was years ago. I'll see about getting one to you.
How big is this handbook?
Just a few thousand pages, but I like to think it's a brisk read. I certainly find it so. Take care, then.
This is day 8 of Trial 6. The last week has been very productive, but exhausting. I think we'll need a break after this. Benet has done some really marvelous work with the personality mesh. It's almost too good. The responses map almost identically to expectations, some of the most lifelike I've seen. Of course, it's not really Sean. None of his memories are in there. That, even now, would be a step too far. It's starting to have an effect on the team, I think. I know I've been caught up in the moment once or twice. just a second or two, forgetting that he's not a real boy. Still, I think we'll need to consider restricting him to the lab only for the moment. I'm well aware that others are put off by his presence. If I were slightly more arrogant, I might consider that a sign of success.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
Don't worry. I promise I won't get in your way.
Thank you, I do appreciate that. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that will come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Is everything okay, Dr. Lee? You seem pretty tense.
Yes, things are... It's fine. I'm sorry, I don't socialize much. I prefer to...
Dr. Lee? Tell me about the people in your division.
I'm not sure what there is to say. Dr. Watson is the Specialist Project's lead scientist. He's, how to put it, very organized and precise. Dr. Ormond is one of the youngest scientists in the Institute, and she's something of a prodigy when it comes to physics.
Dr. Lee? I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
Taking your new appointment in stride, I see. Very well. We've shifted resources off of other projects, like the Child Synth, to focus on Phase 3. I'm hoping that the above-ground efforts are successful. I understand those depend heavily on you.
When are you going to tell me about this mysterious Phase 3?
You know I can't talk about that. Did I turn off the interferometer?
All systems nominal.
I wouldn't be here, not for your son.
Greetings, ma'am.
Our technology must seem pretty advanced by your standards.
Doctor?
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I guess I just wasn't ready to die yet.
Well, That's understandable. The will to survive is the most basic human instinct. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, then at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it.
Dr. Fillmore.
Hi there. Something I can help you with?
I'd like to know about the people in your division.
Of course. Dr. Lawrence Higgs is our mechanical engineer. He oversees the major life support and security systems. Power distribution is Dr. Evan Watson's area of expertise, and Dr. Newton Oberly is in charge of food and housing. He coordinates with bioscience to ensure that our meals are balanced for optimal nutrition. We also make use of a number of synth units for low-priority maintenance and labor.
Allie.
Hey, what do you need?
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
Hi, Doc.
What's on your mind?
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations at Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. And those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
They're still people, and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well... I suppose you're right. Director Holdren seems very taken with you.
It's great to have you here.
Doctor?
Yes, I'm sure that whatever you have to say is very interesting, but now simply isn't a good time.
Sorry to bother you then.
Goodbye. Please resist any urge you might feel to eat the specimens in the hydroponic garden.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
I look forward to learning more about it.
In that case, let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything more exciting than fake gorillas.
Speaking only for myself, I find them fascinating. Of course, I might be a little biased. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Tell me more about those synth gorillas.
On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early setbacks. The creatures can become suddenly aggressive, and they're quite strong. They destroyed 2 of their synth handlers. So now we keep them in an isolated habitat where they can be safely observed.
Clayton.
Something I can do for you?
You mentioned medical care? I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that.
Dr. Holdren?
Good to see you again. Did you need something?
Is there anything I can do to help out?
I think Dr. Carlin was looking for help with one of his experiments. You should talk to him.
Director Holdren seems very taken with you.
Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results. I bet Dr. Thompson would love to take that power armor apart and get a look at the inner workings.
cracking this.
Yes. Sweet.
Standing down.
Nice.
Negative sensor read. Weapons cold. Sensor alert. Anomaly detected. Engaging.
Sweet.
Personal record. Dr. Brian Virgil. This will likely be my last recording. My requests to shut down the FEV program have repeatedly been denied. We've learned nothing useful in the last 10 years. Why does Father insist on continuing it? If he won't see reason, then I have to take matters into my own hands. What we're doing, it's not right. It needs to stop. If anyone should find this after I'm gone, know that I never wanted to hurt anyone. Anyone! Do you understand me? I'm gonna make sure the whole program is shut down. If not for good, then at least for years to come. After that, I know what I'm about to do will be seen as a betrayal. Treason, he'll probably call it. So, I'm leaving. I have a plan, and if it works, I'll be somewhere safe. Somewhere not even the coursers can find me. Everything that we've done, the lives we've taken. If there is a God, may he have mercy on us all.
I can't imagine living on the surface. It sounds like a nightmare.
would be happy to assist you.
C1?
I would be happy to assist you.
You wouldn't happen to have a spare polarizer on you, would you?
Greetings. As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
What can I requisition?
I have access to a modest selection of arms, armor, and other items approved for use in field missions.
Let's see what you got.
If you encounter a hazardous chemical spill, please alert the Facilities Division immediately.
Pardon me.
Sir, we've had another situation. A code red.
What? This is the third time in 2 weeks. This is unacceptable. How could this happen?
We think there was a system glitch. We're looking into it.
Damn it, you're all useless. I'll figure out what happened. But in the meantime, tell the others to be on high alert. I want more patrols and more rounds.
Right away, sir.
If you see anything even remotely suspicious, report it immediately.
If you require maintenance, please file a report with the Facilities Division.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Dr. Higgs.
Spend enough time here, and you'll be sick to death of the word synth. I certainly am.
Synth unit.
Nothing
You were
to
scheduled
report,
for maintenance duty in SRB last night. Anything you'd like to report?
Nothing to report, sir. I carried out my duties, as usual.
Dr. Ayo saw you accessing the terminal. You know you are not
It was probably just a glitch in the nerve system. The fine motor control software was an update.
If it were just limb twitching. But her eyes were moving as well. Involuntary twitching and rapid eye.
Mankind redefined.
You just don't want to admit to yourself what...
Should I turn off the interferometer?
Into one of your passionate speeches about artificial sentience and machines with souls. Don't bother. I've heard enough of them by now. Hell, I can write them down for a minute.
But we can't just ignore the question. If a synth can dream, why can't it have a soul? And if a synth has a soul, then it is a living person by every standard. Of course it is far more comfortable to think of them as machines, so we can do what we want with them.
If you disapprove of the work we do here,
Just a moment. I never said that. I'm simply trying to open everyone's eyes to new possibilities.
quick. It's an unwanted distraction. We're men of science, philosophers. You do well to remember that.
Another lovely day, isn't it?
All our divisions are important. But I tend to think of robotics as the first among equals.
Theoretical limits are made to be broken.
Smell has been above ground.
If you ask me, the synth software could use a little more debugging.
3 levels of approval. Can you believe that? 3!
Hello.
Today is full of possibilities.
Doc?
Ah, it's you. You're finally with us. I'd just like to apologize for any trouble our synths may have caused for you on your way here. They, of course, couldn't be told of your identity, and they have very specific protocols for protecting themselves and Institute interests, most of which I designed myself. Not to make problems for you, though. Will you be staying with us then?
What's it to you?
Oh, forgive me. I realize, well, I understand that's somewhat personal. It would just mean a great deal to Sean. If you require anything, especially as it pertains to synths, please let me know.
Hi, Doc.
The synths are treating you well, I hope? We're quite fortunate to have the synths to aid us. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've increased synth responsibility.
All our divisions are important, but I tend to think of robotics first among them. Operating at full capacity.
Jammed.
I apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you. Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Good to see you.
I must be the luckiest synth in the Institute. Yes?
Hi.
As the Institute's first personal synth, I try to set a good example. As the Institute's first personal synth, I try to set a good example.
If all personal synths are as good-looking as you, I should get one for myself.
Why, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. I don't know that I can be of much help with that, but the compliment has certainly made my day. It was a real pleasure to meet you. I'm sure you're still taking everything in, so I'll let you get back to that.
Eve.
Even though I'm a synth, Alan and Liam have made me feel like a part of their family.
Hey.
As the Institute's first personal synth, I try to set a good example.
What's a personal synth?
Dr. Benet is carrying out a social experiment. He wants to see if a synth can integrate into a human family. I know I can never replace his wife or be a real mother to Liam, but I can at least help with the domestic duties. I like to think I'm a pretty good cook. It was a real pleasure to meet you. I'm sure you're still taking everything in, so I'll let you get back to that.
Eve.
Yeah? Yes?
Father is more than just our leader. He is our creator.
Your presence here is a great gift, not just to Father, but to all of us.
I hope all your needs are being seen to. Let me know if you're not.
Father's work has been a real inspiration for me.
It's the Wanderer. The Wanderer's back. What we building today?
Pam wants you. She explained why, but I couldn't figure it out.
Confirming presence of rogue variable. Dispensing data. There are 3 independent reports of Courser activity. Analysis completed based on target's activity pattern, location, and suspected trajectory. Conclusion. The Institute is actively looking for railroad assets. Stopgap solution. Terminate Courser threats whenever possible.
Wouldn't killing a Courser blow my cover?
2 facts. Fact 1. If Rogue Variable leaves no survivors, chance of undercover mission being compromised is 1.3%. Railroad Alpha has deemed this an acceptable level of risk to preserve the current railroad organization construct. Fact 2. Only agents of designated subclass Heavy, capable of eliminating Courser threat.
Just tell me what you want in English, Pam.
Processing. Clarification commencing. Target designated Courser Alpha is in a defended location with lower generation synth targets. Eliminate Courser variable, leaving no survivors. End of discussion.
Cache
Current
secured,
task
Pam.
complete. Reward dispensed. Future tasks may be assigned.
Really want the freedom trail. By
Glory.
yourself.
About to head out. My safe house kiddies need me to make some booms.
I hope to God the Institute doesn't find us here. At least not soon.
Everyone's all, you've been hitting the chems way too hard. But I got my eyes open. I see.
Oh, thank God.
Woo! See, Jazz, I told you the molecular stabilization matrix held.
Funny, you didn't sound certain yesterday. It is really, really good to see you. Did it work? Did you make it inside the Institute?
Yeah, I got there. And the Institute is paradise. Healthy people, clean, plenty to eat.
A paradise built on the backs of slavery is no paradise at all. In Tom's holotape, did you make contact with Patriot?
I met Patriot. His name is Liam Benet.
I knew you'd get the job done. We need every scrap of intel you picked up in there.
Write up a full report on Pam's terminal. After you're done, we'll analyze it and figure out the next step. Get to it.
Heads up, Tom's got more goodies in stock. Check with him.
Desdemona.
Contact Dr. Amari. She'll have more details on the route.
I met with the leader of the Institute. And it turns out, he's my son.
What? Wasn't he just a little boy?
Since he's my son, maybe we can work with him.
Do you really think he'd be willing to let go of all of the synths? Even if he was, certainly the rest of the Institute wouldn't go along with it. They'd just put someone else in charge.
After they took him from me, they froze me in cryo.
Instead of being on ice for a few years, it's a few decades instead. The Institute's really done a number on you. Besides meeting your boy, did you meet Patriot too? Did Tom's holotape work?
I met Patriot. His name is Liam Benet.
I knew you'd get the job done. We need every scrap of intel you picked up in there. Write up a full report on Pam's terminal. After you're done, we'll analyze it and figure out the next step. Get to it.
Heads up, Tom's got more goodies in stock. Check with him.
Are you injured?
Analysis complete.
Anything we need to move on?
Affirmative. Codename Patriot requires admin credentials for Code Defender security software. Cross-indexing CIT security administrators with 2077 Commonwealth Census records. Filtering by surviving structures. One match found. Bergman. Wilfred. Bergman. Wilfred, registered as co-owner of Cambridge Polymer Labs. Estimated 81% chance of login credentials being located at this facility.
What can you tell me about Cambridge Polymer?
Cambridge Polymer Labs, LLC, had several active military contracts, specializing in robotics. The region is currently classified as extremely dangerous.
After you get the password report back here. With any luck, we'll have a game plan by then.
Hey.
Sure. Yeah, boss. What is it?
Your thoughts?
One time, I got a face change.
Sure. Is everything all right between us?
Happy as hell. Sincerely glad you joined the railroad. We can do a lot of good together.
Systems locked.
Nothing else I needed.
Another time.
Model for Operation Tea Party.
Pam.
Recalibrating using new data set. Solving for theta n when I approaches probability bounds.
What we building today?
about to head out. My safe house kitties need me to make some boo.
Desdemona.
Contact Dr. Amari. She'll have more details on the route.
There's more going on than you know. Trust me.
Excuse me.
You need anything?
Show me what you got.
Okay.
Contact Dr. Amari. She'll have more details on the route.
Randolph Safe House reporting. Package 1 is away. No problems. Route cleared as promised. Runner reports recipient is, as of now, closed for business. Switchboard spooked her. We're working a new route. If our friendly neighborhood heavy can take out hostiles at the following location, that would make our life a lot easier. Mr. Timms out.
Protect and serve.
Well, I'm glad to see the relay didn't completely vaporize you.
It did, but I pulled myself together.
I suppose you did. Now, what about the serum? Did you find it?
I've got it right here.
That's it. That's really it. All right. Let's see.
Retrovirus has matured nicely. Density gradient is high. Recombinant counter-intron sequences look stable. Transcriptive exon strands have formed.
Has the, reverse transcriptase survived the nucleotide synthesis?
Excellent question. Yes, it has. Fascinating. Oh, did you mean that as a joke? Well, it's time. There's only one way to test it.
Protect and serve.
All right. Here we go. And now, we wait.
That's it?
What? Did you expect me to transform right before your eyes? This is science, not a two-cap magic show. I'm going to rest for a while. I'm back in a few days, maybe a week, and... well, I guess we'll see. In any event, you kept your end of our bargain. Thank you.
Arthur! Hey! Who's there? Oh, man, come back!
I'm just getting started.
Loctite.
Unless you want me to stick you on top of the railroad's Christmas tree, let's go.
is it? Let's see what I got in my pockets.